Hello everyone, I just had to come back on. That was a picture of the Fraser River coming down into the valley. I'm now on the last leg on the way home. I'm about an hour and a half away from home now. And just as a matter of interest, that leg from Merritt to Hope cost me about 36 bucks in gas. So that's amazing, just how much gas you use up. However, as I was sitting muttering about that, I swung my mind around to the fact that that was 1.5 hours of almost solid forests and mountains. And yet again, my mind goes to how the heck did the people ever get to Merritt? Never mind up to Kamloops, never mind up to Prince George, never mind up to the Yukon. How did they ever do it? You ever thought about that? I mean, look at the terrain I've been through and imagine them trying. How did the gold rush guys do it? I mean, what did they take? A mule and a couple of mules? It must have taken them years. I'm muttering because it takes me 4 hours to do this trip. Really? I'm trying to think what... I think a horse could cover about 30 miles a day without too much trouble. So 30 miles a day, maybe. That'd be sort of like but I think that would be 30 miles a day going flat, not going up and down these. Really great mountains here. I mean, really. So I'm very grateful for the fact that I have a car. I'm very grateful for the fact that I had internet so that I could hear about my friends passing in time to be up there and to be with the family. And very grateful for the fact that don't want to talk too quickly, but hopefully that I got home safely. And as I said yesterday, I think, or earlier today, really grateful for the fact that I got to give my car a really good spin because mind you, I did quite a good one at the beginning of the month with the trip that I did with my brother. But this is another one, so that will have actually done it a lot of good. By the way, there was no toll booth. They've taken it out. Huh. Nobody more surprised than I am. I wonder when they did that. Probably 10 years ago, for all I know. But I'm still in pretty hilly country. Even though I'm driving through a valley, it's still very hilly on my left and not quite as hilly on my right. Still got hills, but not quite as bare. And we're getting back into the valley of the farmland here. For those of you who know the area, I'm heading towards Chilliwack, and actually Bridal Falls, Chilliwack, and then be heading towards Abbotsford. The other really good thing is, because tomorrow is our Canada Day, a lot of people are away having a long weekend, and I'm traveling a day before the rush. If I was trying to do this trip tomorrow, I can assure you this would not be a fun trip, because everybody and their dog and their trailer and their boat, dinghy, canoe, everything would be coming back down, and that would be, you know, a lot of people went up to the lakes this weekend, and what a nice weekend they've had too. See somebody cycling on the highway. As far as I knew, that was totally illegal, but never mind. I mean, they're cycling on the shoulder, but even so, as far as I know, that's a no-no. So really, really pretty. Now, I must say that I always sort of hold my breath when I do this part of the trip, because this is a high rockfall area to my left, and a lot of the rock faces here have got netting over them, because the rock face gives away quite regularly. So pleasant. And not that I wish anybody harm, but if you're going to have to give way rock, you know, do it after I've left, you know, and before the next person gets there, preferably. Tired. I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. I look forward to my own bed. I cannot tell you how much I miss the fact that my bed, you know, is one of those fancy ones that goes up and down. I really missed that when I was trying to do the uploads and things. I was sitting at a very awkward angle trying to do that. And you don't really realize it until you are not at home and not uploading in the usual position. So, and I will really appreciate my Wi-Fi when I get home. I cannot tell you how slow the Wi-Fi was there. It was amazingly slow. But it was Wi-Fi. So let me not be too judgmental. So my memories of this, I guess, would be don't stay in a motel cell unless you take your Lysol cloths with you, and in which case, if I've got to spend half an hour sanitizing a room, then I might as well pay the extra and have it sanitized by housekeepers. What do you think? I think so. I think I grossed myself out a little bit, one too many times on this trip. It was even, you know, there was like a hairdryer in the that surprised me. They actually did have one, but there was a hairdryer in the bathroom. And the bracket into which it sat, if you looked at the top there, the dirt on there wasn't dust, it was grime. Do you know what I mean? You would have needed soap and water and maybe a scrubbing brush type thing to get it to move. Nobody had taken a wet cloth to it. And I always remember my mom saying that if you're trying to clean a room, dust a room, do it with a wet cloth, not a dry one. And by the way, do it with a white cloth. Because it will tell you Now this is really interesting, and she was right, because I've noticed this. It will tell you whether you've just got dust or whether you've got dirt. So if you go over with a wet cloth, if you go over a surface and it just stays white, you know all you've got there is dust, you haven't got dirt. You go over a surface and it comes up any other color, you know you've got dirt, and you need to go back with something a bit stronger. So I always remember her telling me that. And of course, there's very little that is as effective as just a little bit of vinegar and water. And if you don't like the smell of vinegar, put in a couple of drops of vanilla essence or almond or anything else that you like, and you got yourself a very nice bottle of disinfectant and very effective cleaner. I don't think I've bought anything like Windex for years. I mean, like tens of years. I've always made my own. By the way, I use the same for, I make my own dishwasher rinse aid. That's all it is, it's vinegar and water. Now you're going, ugh, if you rinse in vinegar, it's going to taste terrible. No, it doesn't. It's a very small amount of vinegar for a very large amount of water. You don't even know it's there. And that's what rinse aid is. Of course, if you insist on knowing it's rinse aid, then add a drop of blue color, food dye, to it, and you will know that you got rinse aid. They also say if you want to have a really good softener, you know, just put half a cup of vinegar in your washing machine for the final rinse. Not many people do it, but vinegar has a really good way of pulling out the extra soap. And I wonder how many of you do a wash every now and then with absolutely no soap in the machine, just to see how much soap is left in your clothes. It's worth doing every now and then if you've never done it. I do it sort of about once a month. I'll put my clothes in and I won't put any soap in there. I'll just let them wash. And it's amazing how much soap. You know, obviously I won't do it if I've got a dirty load, but if I've just got a regular load, you know, clothes I've worn once, and yeah, I'll just put them in there, and you'll be amazed between what's left in the clothes and what's left on the machine. It's a good tub clean, if you like, and especially if you put sort of half a cup of vinegar in the softener compartment. It really cleans out your washing machine quite nicely. Well, if life's full of memories, and that's what life's about, then I definitely add it to my list this weekend. And not only that, I got to know, as you know, I got to know some people that I never really had time to sit and chat to before. And part of me knows that I will return, God willing, and spend another summer's day with them, or maybe even a couple, because it really was delightful and I thoroughly enjoyed the company. So I wanted to tell you the story of the bun. It was really strange, and I really can't quite work out what happened. On my trip up, when I was at Hope, which is where I've just been, I bought a nice size Kaiser bun that had ham and Swiss cheese. So one bun. And I also had a coffee with me. By the way, this coffee that I bought in Merritt, 10 o'clock, 11, 2 hours ago, still is piping hot because it's been sitting against the windshield. And the heat is so hot coming through that it's keeping my coffee absolutely hot. Almost burning hot. Isn't that amazing? So that's a good trick if ever you want it. So anyway, I bought this bun because I was hungry. And that was a breakfast, if you remember. And so on the way up, I think I had a couple of bites out of it. That's all I actually needed, just to quench or to still the hunger. And I don't like eating and driving anyway, so I just sort of wrapped it up and put it back. And then by the time I got to the motel, it was early afternoon, and I had another couple of bites, and that was all I needed. And I wasn't sort of purposely trying to starve myself, because my plan had been to go out and have dinner later. And then you remember I had fallen asleep and done all sorts of things, and by the time it came to early evening, I thought, do I really feel hungry enough to go out and have a greasy meal? Because that looked like my options were grease, grease, and grease. So I thought, I really don't feel like doing that. And then I remembered I still had half a bun left, and it was a really fresh bun when it started. And I tell you, it was still doing well by the time I finished it that evening. And so all day long, that's all I had was the one bun. And it had protein because it had ham, and it had dairy because it had cheese. It had greens, it had a piece of lettuce in it. And I did not feel the need for anything else. And then yesterday, I know I had a lot of junk food yesterday, in as much as I had a burger, a small burger, and a wiener hot dog without any bread. And I had a little bit of potato salad, which was really nice. No garlic. Yay! I had some cake. So it'll be interesting to see what I did for weight. Now, what have I had today? Well, not very proud of myself. All I've had is a Danish, but I'm not really hungry. But it's amazing. I bet you when I get home and open up my full fridge, I will suddenly feel hungry. Well, my fridge won't be full, which reminds me, I should really trying to remember what I've got at home. I got tomorrow. I can go shopping tomorrow. Well, as you can see, we are now coming down into the valley. Just absolutely magnificent here. I'm probably not too far away now from the town of Hope. I'm probably 15 minutes or so, where I will fill up with gas again. I've used about a third of a tank coming down. So it'll be interesting to see. I put 50 bucks in before I started this leg. It'll be interesting to see how much it's going to cost me. Now, the cost of gas here is a lot more than in the States, as far as I can work out, as is everything. But I thought I'd just give you a moment to enjoy this view. The temperature is getting up there now. It's feeling quite warm. And like a buck for every tree I've seen on this trip.